Hello. What most people don't realize is that paint is plastic. Yes, about 50% of paint is made of plastic, and paint is the biggest source of microplastic pollution in the ocean. And when painted steel objects in the industrial and marine worlds are blasted before repainting, the paint residuals are crushed into microplastics, and a lot of them end up in the environment, and most often the ocean. Microplastics are everywhere. We're eating them, drinking them. They're raining down on us. They've been found in our blood and in mother's milk. Pinovo has developed and patented vacuum blasting technology for surface maintenance that stops all the paint microplastic emissions entering the ocean. Our solution is cleaner, safer, less expensive for spot blasting than the traditional forms of surface maintenance. And the market is absolutely enormous. The painted steel objects that you can see here are, for the most part, maintained with the traditional dirty, pollutive surface maintenance methods. We have a highly experienced team with real depth of industrial knowledge and supported by a board with financial, entrepreneurial, and industrial skills and experience. And our project has been largely de-risked. The products are tried and tested and proven in the marketplace. We broke even last year and are budgeted to be EBITDA positive this year. There are regulatory tailwinds that will drive and accelerate the current industrial adoption, and we will shortly be raising growth capital to expand our machine park and strengthen our operations and commercial teams. Clean vacuum blasting will become a new industry standard, and Pinovo, as the leading sustainable solution in the marketplace, is positioned to grow significantly as both industry and regulators push for sustainable solutions. So why don't you join us in that journey by participating in our capital raise and be part of our mission to stop ocean paint microplastic emissions for a cleaner, healthier ocean. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Declan. You did great. Now, for jury questions. I'd like to invite anyone who hasn't asked a question yet to give yourself permission. Or other people who've already asked questions too.
Hi, can you tell us a bit more about the regulatory aspects you were mentioning at the end? How this really changing the game for you?
Absolutely. Well, there are two main drivers. One, the EU Green Deal has a commitment to reduce microplastic emissions into the environment by 30% by 2030. And the EU Commission is currently working on a report which was due out by the end of last year on both the sources of microplastics and actually the regulatory measures to achieve that reduction. Second piece is the UN Plastics Treaty, the negotiations for which commence second round next week in Paris. And as you probably know, the UN Plastics Treaty for the first time included microplastics in the definition of plastic pollution. So this is certainly going to give another driver for the regulatory movement to force paint companies to recognize the risk and to require users to take measures to stop mismanaged paint in the environment.
Thank you. Any other questions for Pinovo?
Yes, thank you for your pitch. What do you do with the paint dust that you collected?
At the moment, what we're doing is safely disposing of them as opposed to allowing them to be dumped in the environment. But what we're doing is we're entered into discussions with Jotun, the large Norwegian paint company, to find ways of turning this waste into value. Because paint is unusual. It's not just your classic plastic. There are also chemicals in paint where you've got to be very careful that you don't just recycle them willy-nilly. We have to understand what's in them, what can be used in terms of other lives for those paint residuals. The other piece is the grit that's used for blasting can be resent to the grit factories to be resharpened and reused in another life as well.
Great. Well, if there are no other questions, I think we can give our best kelp wave or applaud to Declan from Pinovo. Thank you.